How did I find out about the deception? It's actually quite simple. I came home, and my things were lying on the landing in front of the door. Naturally, the key did not fit. The phone kept beeping continuously, and of course I was blacklisted. It's a wonderful end to a 3-year relationship, isn't it? Fortunately, we never bothered to sign anything, so I think it was some kind of self-preservation instinct. The apartment was rented out, so there really wasn't much to grieve about. But still, a sense of resentment bubbled up in me. I started banging on the door. I pounded on it for a good half-hour, and then Harper, the neighbour from hell, appeared. Downstairs, my grandmother was scolding me like a naughty child. But then, when she noticed my things by the window, she pursed her lips, shook her head, and said that some young man had taken them today, and that there was noise all day. She thought we'd moved out. Well, it turned out that I was the only one who left. When I had nothing else to do, I packed my bags, left through the old door for the last time, and headed to my parents'. Later, I found out that I was completely excluded from our life together. Everything was blocked, from social networks to messengers. And her little profile picture showed her with another guy. I've been in this endless loop for 2 months, trying to figure out what the hell happened. I was furious, at her, at myself, at him. I searched for answers, trying to find some hint, a clue that would lead me to the truth. I asked my friends, even some of our common girls, but in response I just shrugged my shoulders. One friend even showed me recent vacation photos of my ex with a young mulatto guy. Everyone is smiling, and it seems that they are living their best life. He was taller, more handsome, richer, and of course younger. That's when everything finally fell into place. I received an important life lesson, a heavy slap in the face, and it made me do something. I quit the factory, where my salary was decreasing every month, took out a loan and opened my own business. Slowly but surely, I was working my way to success. All this time, I've been keeping an eye on the one who broke my heart. I wanted her to see what I was creating, regret what she had done, and crawl back to apologize. Our mutual friends told me how lucky I was that my business was booming, but to be honest, it wasn't luck. It was hard work. Work turned me from a boy into a man. Even my mom eventually admitted that the breakup was a blessing in disguise. 5 years have passed. I never got married, but I had a few unpleasant relationships along the way. In the end, I decided to put my personal life on pause. Honestly, I could afford to hire a call girl for an hour or a night and not let my mind get tangled up in useless emotions. During this time, my ex managed to get pregnant by her new boyfriend. As expected, everything went awry, and she had to borrow money from a mutual friend for an abortion. After that, she disappeared from my life, until recently. While I was looking for my next companion, I came across a familiar face. She looked rather stern, but she seemed to have aged as much as could be expected. A couple of mouse clicks on the photo, a quick glance at the price list. I couldn't help but smile. But she made it clear, never. They say revenge is a dish best served cold, right? So, I called the agency, arranged a date and a price. Everything fell into place like clockwork. All that remained was to wait for the evening and enjoy the cheap pleasures. A budget hotel seemed to me a good enough choice in the circumstances. So I sat on the bed in the room and waited for her. There was a glass of water on the bedside table, and I was nervously reaching for it all the time, but I never picked it up. I heard drunken female laughter echoing from the hallway, and realized that I wasn't the only one who wanted to make a quick buck out of love. My ex showed up 5 minutes before the scheduled time. She knocked confidently, and I went over to open the door. For a few seconds, she didn't even understand what was going on or who was standing in front of her. Then a real shock appeared on her face. I smiled and stepped aside, beckoning her in with a barely perceptible nod. So here I am, stalking the woman I once loved, I drawled, slowly unbuttoning my shirt. I never thought that you would change our life together because of this. Because you work as a call girl, I added, watching her closely. Life was not kind to me then, just like now, she replied sharply. By that time, I had almost finished unbuttoning my shirt. When she saw this, she recoiled. What are you doing? What is it? She asked in a trembling voice. I paid for you, I said, gently lifting her chin. Now get undressed. She swallowed hard, but didn't protest. She couldn't. It was a trap from which she had no way out. She held back tears as she looked through each item on the price list. And, to be honest, it seemed to me that I was sinking deeper and deeper into a swamp from which I would never get out. But for some reason it seemed that it was worth it. The next morning, when I was about to leave, she stopped me at the door, trying to start a conversation. She chatted about how we still had something in common, about how old feelings had returned, and how maybe our meeting wasn't accidental. I wasn't listening. I didn't care. I just went out and closed the door in her face. The chapter was closed. And you know what? I am ready for the next stage of my life.